Aparna, I want to bring you in here because, somebody as the CEO of the India Brand Equity Foundation, you've been responsible for the last 13 years of selling the India story, so as to say, and pitching India as a place to do business in. Women in India, I think this global media is full of not very positive coverage about women in India, especially when it comes to safety. What have you been able to do, or the India Brand Equity Foundation did, to make sure women entrepreneurs were in the spotlight?
I think one, I would like to just begin by saying that a lot of times we function on assumptions. So the first starting point for us was to try and understand what are the brand strands, and then possibly get onto the story of transmitting and publicizing and highlighting the positives about the country. So similarly, if I were to extrapolate from that experience, I would say it's extremely important that given the breadth and the depth of change or entrepreneurship or women enterprise which is emerging in the country, it's extremely important to aggregate those experiences. But I feel there's a huge gap between the angel investors, the VCs, who are looking to find them, and the ones who are into entrepreneurship do not know how to locate them. So I think that again is something when you look at, when we were discussing in the morning, that the internet is a great leveler. It is also a low cost and a high impact medium which should be leveraged, and possibly an aggregate of information should take place. Second, I would say that drawing from my experience as the Vice President of World Association of Investment Promotion Agencies, wherein more than 180 investment promotion agencies would be gathering almost on a monthly basis, we conducted training and skills development workshops across countries. But I must admit that the interest or the initiative from India was extremely limited. One can only imagine that sharing on learning from each other's experiences on how much and to what extent it can power. And also when you talk about the JEDI, the Global Entrepreneurship and Development Index, the fact is we rank extremely low when it comes to globalization, finance access, technology absorption. And all of these issues can possibly be better addressed through sharing of experiences. So I think that's really where I would say that the brand needs to really step in. And also universities. We engage a lot with universities. There are regular student treks which are coming in from the MITs, Harvards, from European universities. And we actually used to take them at IBF, we called it the Experience India program, that we would take them across the corporate houses and also the policy or even take them to skill development workshops. And that used to be an exposure for them to try and understand what is the changing landscape in India.
There are a lot of programs that get announced, women entrepreneurship. Like I think Aparna was saying that people don't know. I mean, if there's a government scheme announced to help women entrepreneurs, and even if it is for ones in manufacturing or the small scale businesses, there is no promotion of it. The right people don't find the right funds. Is that something if younger entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs that you might have mentored or come across, who don't have the, the privileges of access and network that you have, find a problem?
I wanted to say something here. So just as context, we bootstrapped our venture for the first 4 years. Various times we found SME and tech SMEs ke liye there are special schemes and loans being printed in the leading newspapers by SBI or other banks. But you know what? When you follow up on those opportunities by going to the branches, the branch managers, contacting the VPs, it's like it's just something in the press. There's nothing there. You can't really create an application and get anything out of it, which I was quite appalled with. And I've personally had this experience 3-4 times.
I think one of the things is that if you have to get access to some of that, you spend a lot more energy in doing that. Right? So the question is the trade-off. Do you want to spend time building your business? Do you want to spend time chasing money that will only come to you as a loan anyway? Right? So I think that's something that is there. But at the same time, I think today, these last few years, I think at least in the biotech space, there's been a lot of, I think there have been some good programs, and I think they are now trying to promote it. So there has been some change from the 14 years that I have known. There are some good things that have come up, but it is totally up to the person whether they want to spend the energy and time in trying to reach out to those.
Did you want to?
Yeah, I just wanted to make 2 points actually. Now, when we speak to secretaries and we speak to the ministers, I think the intent is very much there for the various schemes. The problem is that the people who are filtering the processes, the people who are at the desks are clerical, and they are sort of ticking boxes, which doesn't help. And it's not only a women issue, I must reassure you. I think it's a
general government scheme,
general
the way it's
government
delivered.
issue, and that is
Governance.
that is an issue which I think this government will also have a problem. But I think what we are missing here is one point beyond financing. I think mentoring is very, very important. And I think for every entrepreneur, for every individual, mentors in life and at different mentors at different stages of life are very important. And this question has come to me before also. So should women entrepreneurs have only women mentors, and how do you engage? I want to address that because it keeps coming up. And I think the thing is that you should have, as an entrepreneur, woman or man, you should have the mentor that you need at that point of life, number one. And number two, I think in India, the society, the culture, the whole social fabric that we have, it is important to also realize that we do have practical or impractical problems that we need to face. We have children, we have social commitments. So having women entrepreneurs come in and help us mentor on those aspects of life are also very important. And I think that mentoring is something which then brings in much better level of financing. It brings much better level of building businesses, and I think it builds more than anything, at least in my personal experience, building teams and organizations.
Yeah, just a quick one. I think at the end of the day, what really matters is the numbers. So, someone in the beginning of this panel talked about it's a bottoms-up approach. And I think it's also very important for us to start early, which is in high school. And high school internships, unfortunately, in India are a big no-no because there are certain laws which do not allow companies to hire high school students as interns. But I think one of the important things that we have to do is to find a way around that so that we can get more girls into high school internships and be better prepared to deal with a situation like that. So I think high school internships is something that I would really root for.
Aparna, just want to bring you in that there is also a conversation that a lot of women need to have. There's a whole ambition gap that we talked about, and it's an uncomfortable question, but there's some inward-looking dialogue that we must do. Women must have with themselves as well, to say that beyond sometimes, and I've had that with cousins and friends, who've dropped off the workforce, and it's 8 or 9, your children are 9 or 10, and you sort of find yourself nowhere, right? And have you also experienced that you would urge women also to make sure that you don't give up the fight or be ambitious, have a life beyond just yourselves?
I would tackle it or respond to you in a different way. It's just been 10 days that I quit my job. And I've seen people around me more concerned than I am. I have been. And 9 out of 10 persons have asked me that, would you be starting something of your own? And I've just been struck by the fact that after almost 25 years of incessant, and with no maternity breaks, I don't have kids. So I consider 25 years I've been at the job, and I just want to enjoy these 9 or 10 days. But it's also set me thinking to focus on the areas which I would like to focus on, really dedicate my energies to. So I think when you look at women being constructive or resourceful, it's more an extension of it's an expression or extension of your personality. So I would not really expect people to be extremely driven and aggressive, but definitely also to know themselves, get to know themselves and their interests, because entrepreneurship really is born out of creativity. And it's only a sustained interest and your persistence to hang in there which allows you to stay there. So I would say follow your dream, and obviously you need all the right support, you need mentorship, you need engagement in life, in projects to be able to also, even if you have a robust plan, it's extremely important to also discuss, to be very sure about the fact that is it a scalable model or not. And secondly, I do want to confess that, you were speaking about women being asked about maternity and other things. At times of recruitment, it used to be extremely trying because I had experiences of recruiting a lot of people. And then within 2 months of it, we faced similar situations. And I was in a discussion with my mother. And I said, gosh, I think I should start asking this question now. And she said to me, then nobody should have hired you. I think that's the time when it really brought a stop to everything. Thank you.